Hey everybody. In 3.2 we're looking at special expansion tricks. So expanding stuff but using some tricks or shortcuts or really memorization. Last topic, 3.1, we learned how to expand something like this. A plus B multiplied by A minus B. In other words, some expression multiplied by another expression. We learned it three different ways. There was FOIL, there was long multiplication, and there was by grouping. I am going to use FOIL to expand this one. So I'll do the first terms. A times A is A squared. I will do the outside terms. A times negative B, which is negative AB. I'll do the inside terms, which is B times A. So I guess I'll write it as positive AB. And the last, which is B multiplied by negative B, which is negative B squared. Okay. I can simplify this. Actually, I might notice that these terms, negative AB plus AB, that's like negative 1 plus 1 is gone. So the result is A squared minus B squared. Those terms in the middle, AB and AB, we call them cross terms because they are made of one of each variable. That's just how it works. So what happened to the cross terms? They are gone. This doesn't sound that special, but what it does is it lets us write down a very simple formula for how to do this question whenever it comes up. If I have a question that asks me A plus B multiplied by A minus B, it will always be A squared minus B squared. In other words, I don't actually have to do the expansion using FOIL or whatever. I can just jump straight to the answer. Let me show you an example. An example would be something like x plus 2 multiplied by x minus 2. Now that it's an actual question with numbers, it might make more sense why this is useful. And apparently, I can just follow this rule here in this box, and I can get an answer. I do have to identify what is A and what is B. In my case, that's A, that's B. So A squared is actually x squared, and B squared is 4, 2 times 2. The sign in between them, always negative. This one has a special name. It's called a difference of squares. That's because 4 is a square number, and x squared, of course, is also a squared number. There are more tricks like this. In other words, general expansions that we see a lot. There's two more. The first one is, what if I had A plus B all squared? I'll show you an example what that might look like, but right now we're just going to write down the rule. The expansion is always going to be A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. It's a pattern every single time, same answer. So if I had an example of this, I might have a question that asks me to do x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2. Some of you might quickly notice that those two things are the same, x plus 2 and x plus 2. That means I could write this as x plus 2 squared. Following the expansion, first term is A, second term is B, so I'll have A squared plus 2A b plus b squared. I put it in brackets that time just so you can see all the terms that are going on. Maybe I should throw that one in brackets too. So the stuff in the brackets is just a or b. In other words, the first thing in the bracket or the second thing. This is not hard to do. The math that you're being asked to do here is something that you could do pretty quickly. X squared plus 4x plus 4. And it's done. Just like that. Another quick one, without all the expansion. What if it was y plus 3 squared? I would have y squared plus 6y plus 9. I'm able to do this fast because I have memorized this rule, and you will too. The last rule is almost exactly the same as the second one, except it is, what if we had a minus b squared? The result, thankfully, is not very different from the previous one. It is a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. There's only one sign that is different, and it's the middle term is negative instead of positive. So if I had x minus 2 squared, I would have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared. Okay, again, I put it all in brackets so we can see what I'm doing. In this little problem, a was changing to x, b had become 2. And I substituted it in without really thinking. I didn't do any algebra, I didn't do any expansion. I literally, this kind of question, we call it plug and play, or plug and chug, or something like that. You just plug some numbers in and everything works out fine. After you simplify, we have x squared minus 4x plus 4. The two last rules, sometimes I like to write them as just one rule. So I'll write this. I'll write a plus or minus b squared is equal to, first term is always positive, second term is sometimes positive, sometimes negative, last term always positive. Hopefully you can read this. It says a plus or minus b squared is equal to a squared plus or minus 2ab plus b squared. There's practice for this. It is 3 questions, 1 of each type. Really do pause the video and do these questions. If you just watch me do the answers, then you have not practiced. So practice. First one, second one, third one, look up and follow those rules in your note, and I'll just write the answers, and then we're all done. Alrighty, so just make sure you got those answers right. If you didn't get them right, just double check. Make sure that you are distributing the exponent to both inside terms in the bracket. Other than that, it is easy to make mistakes because you're memorizing something new. But after a bit of practice, I think you'll probably nail this section. Okay, I'll see you guys later.